Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Katrina, and I know. It's been a minute since I recorded a video, but I have had quite a few things going on lately. I've been finishing up my last few weeks of this semester for grad school. I've been doing like a detox, and then also my son had surgery. So now that all that stuff has finally calmed down, I am finally here to give you guys part 6 of my adoption story. So yay! I know there was a couple of you guys that asked questions about my adoption story specifically, and I definitely wanted to make sure that I answered those questions for you guys in this video. Some of the things that you guys asked kind of tied into what I wanted to talk about anyway. So without further ado, let's just get right on into the conversation. Okay, so first I'm going to address the questions that were asked. And so if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my phone because I took a screenshot of the questions that were asked. And so let me get them up here. So one of the questions was if me and my biological family is still in touch, and how often do we talk, and have I met my biological mom in person. And so just to answer that, I know in part 5 I did talk to you guys about how I met my biological mom, and I just want to let you guys know I have met my biological mom, I've met my biological father, I've met all of my biological siblings, and I've met my biological grandfather and grandmother on my mother's side, and then I've met my grandmother on my father's side. Now, I didn't meet all these people at the same time. It was kind of like I met them in different sporadics of me spending time with my family. And so I still do keep in touch with my biological family. It's not an everyday thing. It's not often, but I mean, you know, Mother's Day just recently passed, so I did, you know, wish my biological mom a happy Mother's Day. So, you know, it's that kind of courtesy that's still there. And the next question that I was asked was, how did my adopted family take me meeting my biological family? And so this is kind of the gist of what today's video is going to be about. It's about the honeymoon stages of, you know, meeting your biological family. And it has to do with kind of both sides of the spectrum, only because with any relationship, there's always a honeymoon phase where everything seems so perfect and oh my gosh, it can't get any better than this. And then, you know, things happen as you get to know people, you know, personalities clash, you know. There's just a number of things that can happen. And so, you know, it's just being able to deal with those things, being able to talk through those things, which is what's most important. Now, when I first wanted to find my biological family, my adoptive, well, let me just give you this background. When I first found out that I was adopted, which was probably around the age of 10, my adopted family actually tried to find my biological mom, and they went to the address that was provided in my adoption papers, and of course no one wanted to give my dad any information or tell him anything about my biological mom, for the simple fact that they don't know who he is, you know. And so they didn't just want to give out information. But he did find out that she had other children after me. So there was 1 before me, 2 after me. So there's 4 of us all together. And so later, I actually met my biological family when I was 23. And I actually had talked to my mom, my adopted mom, about meeting, you know, wanting to find my biological family around the ages of 21, 22. And she seemed to be okay with it. At the time, my adoptive mom and I were really close. So, you know, I wanted to talk to her first before I did it. And she seemed to be very okay with it. And I keep saying she seemed to be very okay with it, when in all honesty, she wasn't. I later was able to have that conversation with her where she didn't really understand my need for wanting to find my biological family. She claimed to be supportive, and she was supportive throughout the process, but I think a part of her, well, I know a part of her was hurt that I was seeking out my biological family, because she felt that, what did I do something wrong? She felt that, you know, maybe my biological mom would take her place and things like that. So those are normal feelings for anyone to have, whether it's a biological parent or, I mean, just anybody. That's a normal feeling. If you're seeking out someone who has the same, let's say, title as me, it's like, well, what was wrong with what I did, you know? And I had to reassure her that it wasn't like that, you know, no one was taking anyone's place. It's just that I wanted to know that part of me. And I think it wasn't so much that she didn't want me to get to know my biological mom. I think she was afraid of what may happen opening that door, because it's not always good. Like, I mean, I know some of y'all watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and how, what's her name? Kenya, you know, keeps going after her biological mom, and her biological mom wants absolutely nothing to do with her, and it hurts. Like, it hurts her each and every time she's trying to seek her out, and her biological mom is like, nope. So I think that my adoptive mom was fearful of that for me, like of me being crushed, because, you know, my biological mom didn't want to talk to me. You know, I did feel like, well, you know, I'm 23 now and she hasn't tried to find me, so why am I really trying to find her? But I had to put all those feelings aside in order to, you know, search for her, because I wanted to know. I think that now, I'm not going to say then, now, me being the person that I am, growing into the woman that I am, I feel that now I would rather know and it had been like a bad experience than to wonder the rest of my life, what if, you know, what if I had tried to find her? What if I did find her? So now that I have, you know, I could just keep on keeping on, you know. So yeah, that's how my adoptive family felt about it. I think they were fearful of that more so than anything. And the next question was, so I do want to say it's very hard to tell your adoptive family that you want to find your biological family. It's a very hard conversation to have. And I mean, for all the reasons that I just previously stated, it's very awkward, it's uncomfortable. And so I could definitely understand that. So, but I would say, if there's anyone out there that's thinking about seeking out your biological family, tell your adoptive family, because although they may be hurt, they will support you, because of course you want to know where you are, where you come from, and who you are. And so my battery is about to die, so let me charge it real quick and I'll be back. Alright, you guys, and so I'm back now. And you may hear a little noise because my son is up and with me, but I did want to go ahead and finish out this segment. And so the next question was, what was the exact reasoning for my biological mom giving me away? Well, from my understanding, she just really felt that at the time that she gave me away, that she couldn't take care of me. She already had one child, and she just didn't think that she would be able to take care of me. She said that all she could have given me was all the love in the world. And, you know, as kids, you need more than just love. You need nourishment, you need food, you need shelter, you need clothes. And she didn't feel that she would be able to provide me all of that at that time, especially considering she already had a child. And I think my sister was 15 months old at the time, or somewhere around that. So that was her reasoning for giving me away. She also wanted to pursue nursing, which is another reason, and she didn't think that she would be able to finish school. She didn't think that she would be able to finish school with another baby, so that was another reason why she said she gave me up. The next question was, that was really all of the questions. But one of the major things that I've learned in meeting my biological family is forgiveness. Like, forgiveness brings about so much peace. Sometimes it seems cliche when people say, you know, forgiveness is for you, it's not for the other person necessarily. And you know, it's true. There's a lot of things that I feel like that I harbored consciously and unconsciously towards my biological mom, and just her decision to give me away. And you know, throughout these past few months, I've really been working on forgiving people. Not everyone is going to apologize. Not everybody knows that they did something wrong. So you have to learn to forgive people for yourself. You know, being adopted, for me, I can only speak from my personal story, it's really kind of made it difficult for me when it comes to relationships, as far as intimate relationships with people. You know, I have certain triggers that kind of make me go into a shell, and I just shut down completely. And I'm to a point in my life where I don't want to let what happened to me 28 years ago, going on 29 years ago, affect who I am today. You know, I wouldn't say that I have the, I don't know, the same relationship with my biological mom that I probably would have had with her had she raised me. But I can say that I'm so grateful to this point that she did give me away. Although I still don't understand why, I realize that not everything is meant for us to understand. Sometimes things just have to be accepted. You know, a lot of things that I may do for my peace, and I want you to understand, you're not going to understand, but as long as you can accept it for me just being me and doing what I needed to do for me. And my next segment that I'm going to have, I'm actually going to get into more details about the relationships, like with my sisters and things of that nature, because that relationship had a very rocky start, but it has gotten better over time. All my sisters and I were very close in age, not super close, but close enough. Like me and my older sister, like we're only like a year and a couple months apart from each other. So, you know, we're very close in age. And like my youngest sister, I think I told you guys before, we have the same mother and father. And so it's just a big whirlwind of things, especially when you have different personalities. We're all grown now, we have our own children and things like that. But I will say having my son helped me to appreciate my mother's decision a little bit more. I felt that, okay, in order to carry your child for 9 months and to give them away, you had to love them, because I know it had to be hard, because I couldn't imagine, you know, giving my son away personally, you know, regardless of what my circumstances were. But I don't know. I feel like no matter what, when you seeking out your biological family, you're always going to have questions. But just keep in mind that you may not always get the answers that you're looking for. So sometimes you may try to seek to understand, but sometimes you have to seek to accept that it just is what it is. And I'm very grateful that I met my biological family, so that way I don't have to worry about the what ifs of the relationships with them. But I mean, I don't know, I'm just very grateful for the opportunity. My biological mom was able to experience something that meant everything in the world to me, and she experienced the birth of my son. And I'm so grateful for her being in my corner during that time, because that was a very, very hard time for me. And to have her present, that meant a lot. And that was a moment that I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. And so today's takeaway is forgiveness. Learn to forgive people in your life. Even if you're not adopted, just learn to forgive people, because you're only imprisoning yourself when you don't. And you may not realize it like right away, but over time that stuff starts to build up, and it can cause you to self-destruct. And you know, you're not always going to have good times with your biological family, just like with your adopted family. There's not always good times. People bicker, people fight, but at the end of the day, your family is your family. And unfortunately, we can't always pick them. So I will say in the beginning stages, before I end this, in the beginning stages for me and my biological mom, things were really great as we got to know each other. But I think as I was getting to know her, that resentment and that anger started to kick in, and it caused us to like butt heads, because I felt like she was trying to take on a role that she had gave up. Like, she would ask me questions like, where you going, who you with? And I'm like, why are you asking me that? Like, My adopted mom don't even ask me where I'm going and who I'm with. Like, I'm grown. Like, you're past that stage. So there was a lot of learning in the beginning, and that's why I say the honeymoon stage doesn't always last forever, because you're trying to figure out what role you now play in this person's life 23, 24, and 25 years later. So that's the part that caused us to kind of butt heads. And you know, over time, as I learned to forgive her and let bygones be bygones for giving me away, you know, I honestly have to keep reminding myself, Katrina, do you really think that you would be the person that you are today? Do you really think that you would be as strong as you are today if she had kept you? Do you really think that you would have done all the great things that you've done if you stayed with your biological mom? You know, and that's what I'm forever grateful for. I don't know if I mentioned this. I can't remember if I mentioned in previous videos, but my adoption was a private adoption. My adoptive parents did not get paid to take care of me. They did not receive a check from the government. Like, they took care of me with their own money that they went to work and worked for, like I was their own child, which I mean, I am their child. And that's one thing I love about our family. We never differentiated between adopted or foster or step kids or biological kids. We all were brother and sister. That's my mama, that's my daddy, that's my daughter, that's my son. And that's one of the things that I love about my family. And next Tuesday, I'm going to get more in depth with my actual relationships with my biological mom, as far as how they developed and the pitfalls and the hills and the roller coasters that we went on, as well as with my sisters. And then I will close it out by letting you guys know where we stand today. And that's pretty much everything in regards to my adoption story, because I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you guys every single last detail, because I mean, I'll be here forever. But I will say, if you guys do have any questions about anything or want me to talk about anything specifically with my adoption story, feel free to either leave a comment on the video here or send me a personal message or a direct message here on YouTube, and I would be more than happy to answer it and discuss it in my next video. And I just wanted to thank you guys once again, as always, for watching. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, and I really appreciate you guys supporting me and just being with me on this journey. It's so refreshing to hear from other people that have been adopted and know that I'm not alone. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to make these videos, just because I wish there was something like this out there for me at the time when I was growing up and I had questions and things like that. Because I'm about to start talking about something. I'm about to run off on a whole other topic, so let me just be quiet. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.